When you talk about bumping a player, it's pretty much
great courage. One that says the bump is dead, that's how you deliver it.
What is going on, YouTube universe? My name is Trent. Some of you guys at home might know me as Zirra for other content I throw out on YouTube, and welcome to the Hip and Shoulder, where today it's footy tipping time, reflecting on the round prior before getting our tips in for the round ahead. And round 8 is a round I would rather forget. I'd rather just wipe my hands clean of the season at this point, because my tipping has been absolutely abysmal. I've been doing footy tipping competitions now for at least 4 or 5 years, previously obviously on my gaming channel, but now that the Hip and Shoulder is a thing, we do it here. This has been the worst of those seasons. 4 out of 9 is what I got for round 8, which is absolutely appalling. We kicked off with the loss because we tipped Port Adelaide to beat Adelaide, and Adelaide got up by 30 points. We tipped Carlton to beat Collingwood. Collingwood won. We tipped Sydney and St Kilda to win, which finally gave me a 50% strike rate. I at least had 2 out of 4. And then it goes downhill from there, because we tipped Geelong to win. They didn't. We tipped Essendon. They did. We then tipped Richmond and the Bulldogs, and they both lost. And we finally got Brisbane. I give up. When having a look at my tipping competition, congratulations must go to Dusty Fendoff 4 for tipping the most correct tips of the round, which was 7 out of 9. And total tips, I believe that 7 out of 9 now has him set for a tie, which it does, with I am wee Todd Ed. I'm not going to read that any faster. You can go and get fucked. I told you guys he was going to change his name every week. But Damien and Brendan, congratulations to the pair of you guys for leading the charge. Matt Lamb, Frio90, Benny Craig, Dan Cash, and Team Wiggles all nipping at the heels, only a couple of tips behind. And as I mentioned, sitting tied for second last. I've got to start making some moves. Something's got to give, right? Having a look at the round ahead, there are some games that look a little bit more clean cut than others. I'm not going to roll the dice anymore. I'm going to just steadily try to lock in exactly who I think is going to win. And I just hope that we can start turning a corner and getting some tips correct. Kicks off tonight at the MCG with Carlton taking on Melbourne. Carlton obviously just dropping the ball against Collingwood. Melbourne defeating Geelong to break the undefeated streak. I'm going to go Carlton here because I feel the combination of Mackay and Curnow could stretch Melbourne defensively, because it means with Harry Mackay playing further up the ground, he's going to be dragging a Lever or a May potentially up the field with them, which leaves them one-on-one in the forward 50, and I feel Curnow could get the better of Stephen May in those one-on-ones. So I'm going to go Carlton, and I'm going to go by 17 points. Friday night at GMHBA, Geelong hosting Port Adelaide. No Connor Rosey, potentially no Todd Marshall, potentially no Mitch Georgiades. Jordan Sweet is a 50-50 to get up here. I think Geelong back at home are going to bounce back after that loss to Melbourne last week and pick up a very nice win against Port Adelaide at home. Later on Friday, we've got 2 games on Friday night. I can dig that. Fremantle at Optus Stadium taking on Sydney. Fremantle very good against Richmond last week. Sydney knocking off GWS in one of the better games of the round. I think Sydney are going to travel and get a win. However, not out of the realm of possibility of Fremantle getting up to defeat Sydney back at home, back with some newfound confidence within themselves. Saturday afternoon, University of Tasmania Stadium, Hawthorn taking on St Kilda. After seeing what Hawthorn did to the Bulldogs at Marvel, I am tempted to back Hawthorn to defeat St Kilda here. St Kilda obviously having a win against North Melbourne, but were they really tested? And Hawthorn, as I mentioned in my podcast, this is a game where obviously they can beat Bulldogs the week before, and then the inconsistencies creep in, and then they lose to a St Kilda the following week. I'm actually going to go Hawthorn here. I really like what Hawthorn did against the Bulldogs. I think they can really stand tall against St Kilda. Ins and outs could play a factor here as well for this game. Could very well change my tip once that point in time comes, but having a look at how both of them performed last week, I'm liking Hawthorn's win marginally better than I did against St Kilda's win of North Melbourne. Later that afternoon, Essendon taking on GWS at Marvel. This is going to be a great game to watch. Essendon has been one of the best, if not the best, pressure team in the comp. GWS, just in general, one of the best teams in the comp. GWS are going to go into this game without Tom Green, which is going to be very interesting to see how Essendon's midfield core now can get on top of GWS. I'm going to go GWS in a tight contest. Again, this could come down to team announcements later in the week. Obviously, getting these tips in ahead of the first game of the round, I don't have access to all the teams available. So we'll see how it goes, because Tom Green said he might be a chance to get up here. I'm still inclined to say GWS, because even though Essendon have been the top pressure team, GWS have just been one of the best teams. And putting them up against each other, this is probably going to be one of the games of the round, if not the game of the round, apart from Carlton Melbourne. That's got potential, but I really like the matchup here. I think GWS are going to win in a close contest. Saturday night at the MCG, Richmond taking on the Bulldogs. Now, again, this is a game that is going to be subject to team lineup if I make a decision to change, because Richmond are due to get Dion Prestia, Noah Bolter, and Jack Graham back into the lineup this week. I should go the Dogs here. I'm going to go Richmond by a couple of goals, and I'm just hoping I'm willing a Richmond win here. I feel what has hurt Richmond the most is forward of the ball. Our structure has been terrible. If we can get Noah Bolter back in the mix and we can actually get someone providing a genuine one-on-one contest, I think Richmond are a hot chance. That being said, Bulldogs are probably going to come out now and win by 10 goals. So if any games are going to get swapped here, like these games, I've all said that they could be determined by team announcement. This is probably the biggest one here. Depending on Richmond's ins this week, I will leave it as is. If not, actually, you know what? I'm going to tip the Bulldogs. Dependent on Richmond's ins, I might swap to Richmond. I got to start tipping with my head more than my heart. I think the Bulldogs are comprehensively better. I just want Richmond to start winning. I just need them to win one, please. TIO Stadium, Saturday night, Gold Toast. The Gold Toast Suns are taking on North, and the Gold Coast are going to win that one quite comprehensively. Sunday afternoon at Marvel Stadium, we have Collingwood taking on West Coast. I think Collingwood have that one sewed up, but I would love to see West Coast come down and make a contest of it. And later on that afternoon, Adelaide Oval, Adelaide taking on Brisbane. Adelaide finding some form. Brisbane finally won at home, but Brisbane do struggle on the road. However, their midfield core is flying. They have lost a handful to injury, though, so it's going to be interesting to see how they structure up. I'm going to go with Adelaide at home with a potential swap to Brisbane, but I'm happy to lock in the ones that I've got here. Carlton, Geelong, Sydney, Hawthorn, GWS, the Bulldogs, Gold Coast, Collingwood, and Adelaide. And it is time to have a look at the gauntlet, which we are still in, because last week we did tip St Kilda to beat North Melbourne. This week we have the Gold Coast, and I'm going to tip the Gold Coast to beat North Melbourne, because at this point you're probably safe to go whoever's tipping against North and whoever is tipping against Richmond, or playing against Richmond or North rather. Those are the teams you lock in for the gauntlet. And I'm happy to get teams like Gold Coast out of the way early, St Kilda out of the way early, because there's so much uncertainty about how they're playing. But wait, there's more, because we've got to share our same game multis. Something that I've been doing this year on the channel, something brand new, something I've never done before, something that has been going over with you guys, because I've had comments in the past with people sharing their tips and their bets and everything for the upcoming weekends, and that kind of helped spawn this idea. And my mate Damo loves putting these together for you. He's even asked me to ask you guys, the ones, you know, the punters that come out and do look at these multis, would you rather like to see multis generated that are more of a sure thing? You know, they have shorter odds because they're kind of guaranteed to maybe put a bit of coin in your pocket, or would you rather see the long shot bets, the ones that have a bigger return and more bang for your buck? Let me know in the comments down below. But before I share the multis that have been generated for you this week, just remember, chances are you're already losing. Set yourself some gambling limits and deposit limits, and just be smart when it comes to spending your money, when it comes to gambling and sports betting and everything else. This is a no dickhead zone, okay? Just don't be a dickhead with your money. That's all I'm asking. I'm not at all endorsing you to take these bets on board. That's completely up to you guys. But for those of you who are keen, we have 3 same game multis for you, kicking off with a 10-leg same game multi for the Fremantle-Sydney game. We have Tom Emmett, Nat Fife, Tom Papley, Logan McDonald, Josh Tracy, Jai Amos, Isaac Heaney, Joel Amadi, Michael Walters, and Will Haywood, all to kick a goal each. That's it. As long as those 10 all kick a goal, you're going to net yourself $41. Up next, we've got a 14-leg same game multi for the Essendon GWS game. We have Jesse Hogan, Jake Stringer, Aaron Cadman, and Peter Wright to all kick a goal anytime. Kyle Langford to kick more than 3 goals. Jack Buckley and Jake Stringer and Jaden Laverde, as well as Harrison Jones, to all each have 10 plus disposals. Lockie Whitfield, Stephen Caniglio to both have 25 plus disposals, as well as Sam Durham to have 25 as well down the bottom there, with Nick Martin and Zach Merritt to both have 30 plus, and that is going to net you $41. A final slip of the round is a 17-leg same game multi. Bear with me on this one. We have Jed Walter to kick a goal anytime. We have Nick Larkey to kick 2 plus goals. Will Graham, Cam Zerha, Tristan Cherry, all to have 10 plus disposals. Harry Sheasel to have 35 plus disposals. Ben King to kick 5 plus goals. Jed Walter to kick 3 plus goals. Sam Flanders, Noah Anderson, Took Miller, Luke Davies-Uniacke, all to have 20 plus disposals. Braden Fiorini, George Wardlaw, Will Powell, Sam Clohessy to each have 15 plus disposals, and Colby McKercher to round this one out with 20 plus disposals, netting you a tasty $151. That is it for today's video. Do hope you guys enjoyed. If you do enjoy these videos that I'm doing, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button down below. And if you want to get on board the community we are trying to build here, hit that subscribe button. It's something I've always wanted to do, is a dedicated AFL channel. And while I'm only kind of doing the weekly podcast, the tipping videos, and the Supercoach videos, I've got ideas for other videos to do. And if you guys have other ideas for content that I could do, let me know in the comment section down below. But at the end of the day, I'm wanting to build a community and a platform for people that love AFL to come together and share that passion with one another as I stumble on my words. That is all I'm trying to do here. So if that's something you want to be a part of, hit that subscribe button down below as well. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here. Good luck to your teams this weekend. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.